Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Redline Derby Racing. I'm your host, Brian, and tonight we take our first look at the 2016 Pro Series entries. Yes, the Pro Series kicks off this weekend, and it is a year-long series of tournaments for the, quote, pro racers. If you're tuning in, join the chat and say hello. It's a live show and you're going to be part of it. So let me know what you think. We'll be looking at about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about a dozen cars that are going to be entering the Pro Series. And these are some badass looking cars, if I can say so myself. It is going to be a great series. It's going to be a great time to watch these race. Now, a little bit about the Pro Series. Like I said, it kicks off this month, this weekend, with the first tournament, and the theme was simply build your best. Not a lot of rules going in for this one. It's a mod race, customs, do what you need to do. The only limits were basically some weight. It is 65 grams was the limit on this one, but everything else you could do what you wanted, and believe me, they did. Looking at these entries right now, they did exactly what they wanted. Some of these look incredibly fast. All top-notch stuff, and I can't wait to see these things run. Now, the Pro Series itself runs every other month, so February, April, June, August, October, December, something like that. And every race, every tournament has a different theme going along the way. So these cars that I have right in front of me, they're going to race this weekend, and then they are heading back home, and that's pretty much it. So the next theme for the Pro Series is GT cars. So Porsches, Ferraris, Maseratis, Vipers, that kind of thing. That's going to be coming up in April, and then after that, I believe it's June, which is the Truckorama race, which is going to be trucks, vans, and station wagon type stuff. So that should be very interesting to watch as well. And all along the way, each racer will gain points for each win that they have in their bracket, and so on and so forth. And that total will accumulate throughout the series. And then in December, after the last tournament happens, whoever has the most points totaled up throughout the entire year becomes the first Redline Derby Racing Pro Series champion. They'll get bragging rights and a nice trophy to put on their mantle at home. It should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. And each should also say that each tournament, shy of the first one and the last one in December, are being raced on other tracks, not just mine, not just my the Redline Derby home track here. So it's going to be very interesting to see these race on other people's tracks and how people adjust their cars accordingly. So I want to give a shout out to Matt and Alex in the chat room. What's up, fellas? We're going to take a look at their cars, two of the entries, as well as the others. So I guess without further ado, let's kind of dive right into this thing, I guess. Before I start, I guess if anybody has any, if you're experiencing any problems or anything, please just shout out in the chat room. This is kind of fly by the seat of our pants here, and I'm kind of trying to do 500 things at once. So I apologize for any problems or mess up. So just call it out, holler, and we'll be good. And boom. All right, here we go. And these are in no particular order, all right? I just kind of put these just lined up. So this first entry, this shiny car, comes from Akano Carl from Texas. Now, Carl is one of the, I will call the original, one of the first class of Redline Derby custom racers. He's been here a long time. He signed up back in 2011, so he knows his way around. And he burned up the track with a lot of mods, a lot of cars over the years that he was active. He took a little hiatus to go away and do some things, I guess. I don't know. He drives around in his van, so an Econoline van, I think, is what it is. So he took some time to go do that with his family, and I think he'd more or less retired. He didn't need to prove anything else. He was a winner, and everybody knew it. But this Pro Series here, I think this kind of lured him out of retirement, shall we say? And this is his entry. It is a unobtainium, I believe it is. Is long, one of the longer ones in our lineup here. And this thing clocks in at the tipping point of 65 grams. So it is maxed out as far as weight is concerned. It's shiny. I'm assuming Carl's got some FTEs on here and a bunch of weight jammed in there. But it is interesting. He had this, I believe, let me check my notes here, but yeah, this is not a new mod for him. This is one he raced before back in 2013, and it was a winner. It won the Factory Wars series, I believe. So this car has already proven its worth. Its weight in gold, if you will. And we'll see if he can return that. Shiny. You can see me in this car. Where's that bumper? Hi. There's me. Hello. Pretty slick though. I'm excited to see Carl get back into the fold. There's a whole host of new racers that he's never met or never faced. So he might think he has a cakewalk, but I don't think it's going to be that. Nice, like those blue wheels. I'm a sucker for blue wheels, or just colored wheels in general, I think. All right, let's look at another one. There we go. This entry comes from Chris Rabb, or maybe it's Rob. I'm not real sure. But we know him, better know him as 72 Chevy C10 on RedlineDerby.com. He is the event coordinator for Redline Derby Racing. So you see a lot from him. He's the one going around trying to get the events up and running, contacting people, getting themes going, throwing out ideas. This it's funny. This this Chevy looks downright petite and tiny after Carl's Mondo Unobtainium. So Chris's car here also tips the point at 65 grams. He's got it's a gasser body. It's a 55 Chevy gasser body that's sitting on top of a Chrysler 300 frame. And we all know that Chrysler 300 is a well-proven speed demon, even without any modding. It's just a really good car, really good chassis. So he's put that on there, slapped some FTEs on there, most certainly greased him up real good. It should be a good roller. Chris is certainly one of our I don't know, he's one of the more innovative, maybe. He's finding ways to do diecast racing that I don't know if anyone's exactly tried before. He's got experience as a modeler, a 3D modeler. He's got some 3D printing tools and accessories that he can play with. So I think he's been trying a lot of different things to make diecast racing and Hot Wheels racing go well beyond just slapping on some, just taking wheels from one thing, put it on a chassis, and then slapping a body on it. Shout out to Nathan showing up in the chat room. What up, bro? There you go, number 5. All right, let's keep the train rolling. Boom. I gotta say, when I saw this one coming from our friend CC Ryder out of Utah, I smiled real big. I smiled real big when he posted this on the website. Mostly simply because this looks like your classic kind of Pinewood Derby style car. You know, it's a I don't know, you know, your triangle kind of shape, your wedge shape that's going to be going down the thing, which is kind of what you always learn in Pinewood Derby land, right? You just kind of, you take your block of wood, you make it a wedge and slap some wheels on it, and there you go. So something about this just looks really, really fast to me. I think it's because it looks like a physics project in action. Something you'd also do that the teacher says, hey, try to build a fast car by applying what you've learned here in physics class, which means put all the weight in the back, put it all high, and reduce your friction. And I'm guessing that's what CC Rider did right here. And if you haven't been following the thread, the Pro Series thread at redlinederby.com, go over and check that out, because he has put up pictures of the 3 models that he used to make this custom. I believe the base with the angled base is a Johnny Lightning model, and then the other parts come from some Hot Wheels. And it's pretty spectacular. I don't know, I just like the look of it. It's bare, but it just looks like a project car, and I can dig that. These are the kind of cars that I look at and I go, damn, that looks fast. So it's either going to place really, really well, or it's going to place really, really poorly. But you know what? I'll give him props for for not just doing the normal of find a chassis, find a body, and put it together with some weight and some wheels. He tried to engineer this thing, and I think it looks pretty slick. And as far as I know, this is a new mod. This isn't something he raced before. Some people play it safe, some people don't. CC Rider's our friend that just throws caution to the wind, makes a build and lets it roll. 2-seaters, so you can take your honey on this one. Next. McJiggles, which I love that name. Otherwise known as Cooper to his friends. He comes from Connecticut, and he's been around the Redline Derby for a while too. He's probably one of the youngest or younger members when he signed up 4 or 5 years ago now. I just kind of call him the kid in my head, so no offense. That's just what happens. So nonetheless, he's doing a lot. He's a kid that does a lot helps a lot, does a lot of charity work. So he participates when he can. But I mean, I can't imagine being that young today and all the shit that they have to do. So thanks for playing, Cooper. But this Dioria 2 model is one that he had raced before. It was built for a previous race, but it never rolled, as the story goes, because of some weight issues. So he kept it on the shelf, thinking it might come in handy one day, and boom, Pro Series shows up, has a weight limit of 65 grams, and here we go. This little beast comes in a little light. This is only 56 grams. But that's certainly some FTEs on there, and the weight's in the right spot. So this could be a sleeper entry. Hard to say. Cooper knows what he's doing. That is yellow. A little damage there. That came to us that way. This thing's been run before. Proof that this thing is tested, alright? Not a blind draw here. Although personally, Dioria, not a favorite model of mine as far as the look is concerned. But hey, if it races good, it races good. About style, you about winning. Up next, a Turbulence mod from Voxer Racing, managed by John Soff out there in Colorado. This is a man who knows what he's doing and engineers these things to death. I don't know if you've happened to catch the post on redlinederby.com about a Hot Wheels dyno. You know, the little kind of like a real car dyno where you put your car on the little moving wheels and you spin it and it moves real fast to test horsepower and alignment and stuff like that. He made one of these for his Hot Wheels. He's got some like voltometers or meter readers or something like that. He hooks up a little treadmill and does something. I don't know. There's a picture of it on the website. You can go check it out. But so he doesn't just haphazardly throw these together. He puts a lot of science behind this thing. The Turbulence casting is also a very fast casting out of the gate, without any mods to it. We ran a Turbulence all metal, top and bottom Turbulence in the Fantasy League last year before last, and it was a instant winner, and I believe it's in the Hall of Fame. So these things are speedy. I mean, they look fast, right? So they should be fast, but once you engineer them and put some weight and some wheels on these things, it's pretty good. I'm going to show you this too, because this is pretty cool. I have to try and figure this out. You might not be able to see it. Let's see if I can adjust the focus here. Boop, 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 boop. I don't know if you can see the end of the wheels. I don't know what the little stoppers at the end of your axles. He's made some sort of his own like little custom flangey thing that looks angled. So like a cone at the end. It looks like it's JB Weld, but I can't imagine it doing that, being so close to the wheel and working that way. Can't really see on the inside, but there's one on the inside too. So it's basically doing like a wedge. And I think if I had to think out loud, and I'm not a smart man, I'm not a smart man, but it makes sense if you're gonna put a custom end out of this thing to make it kind of that cone shape, because there's going to be less metal, there's going to be less touching on where the wheel hits it. So it's all about reducing that friction as much as it is about weight. So in theory, those wheels have been made to have as little surface area as possible contacting this thing. So very cool. I'll be very interested to see how this rolls. I'd put some money on this one if I was a betting man, to be honest. Some of that's just the mind games that come behind knowing the science that went behind this thing, the planning and the engineering. I guess we'll find out this weekend. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So this Pink Wonder, has the best name. Now, not everybody gave their cars names, all right? Some people just like, it's a 57 Chevy, whatever. Andy Finkel to his friends, apparently, calls this one Pepto Dismal. Huh? Yeah, appropriate. Although, hopefully it's not too dismal of an entry, I guess is the thing. Andy is... he's kind of new to the hobby within the past year or so, 6 months or so. He came across us, jumped right in. He's an artist by trade, if it didn't show. So he can take a car and paint it up and look real slick, look real cool. This is a jackhammer casting. I think he jacked the wheels off a cool one. Again, I love these blue wheels. This one, though, the only thing I noticed during the weigh-in is that this one's pretty light. This one's only clocking in at 42 grams. So we'll see if the roll is enough to make up for the lack of weight. That could be his undoing. I don't know where he put the weight in this thing, but there's plenty of room. So this could be a thing. If it doesn't perform that well here, take this thing back home, crack it open, slap some weight in the back of that thing for the next race, and give it another shot. I like this casting. I don't think I've ever seen it before. Shout out to John and Bears fan in the chat room joining us. Thanks for tuning in, gentlemen. Thanks for all your comments. As it's been said in the chat, Econo Carl's Unobtainium, that gold brick we saw first, is freaking legendary. So everyone's already shaking in their pants and pretty much throwing the towel already. So we don't have to race at all. I'll just give Carl a win and we'll be done. It'll be interesting, though. Like I said, Carl has a good car and Carl has a good brain on his shoulders, but he hasn't raced some of these new guys, and some of these guys haven't mixed before, so he might be up against some new competition. Bears fan is Cooper. Hey, Coop. I just love the fact that it's pink. Nicely done. Nicely styled. If you're going to go down, at least go down looking good, right? This bare metal truck comes from track surgeon Alex. He is quite literally the most recent member of Redline Derby to join that has entered this Pro Series. And picking the Rescue Ranger model or Rapid Response or whatever they call it now is definitely a good way to start. This thing's another one that's kind of fast out of the gate when it comes to just being stock. One of these was in the Fantasy League as well and is a top performer. In the Fantasy League, for those that don't remember or weren't here or forgotten, we might be having a little difficulty here during this live broadcast. You know, live TV, right? Who knows what's going to happen? We'll see. I don't know if it's me or YouTube or whatever, but we'll find out here. Hopefully it's still going, so I'm going to keep on talking. Worst case, you can watch the replay. So this comes from Track Surgeon, like I said, a rookie to Redline Derby. Now, the one thing about Alex and his entries, which I find incredibly fascinating, is that he has written backstories, like fiction, like fan fiction kind of ish backstories to his cars. He's given them drivers, names, and origin stories and all that kind of stuff. He's written a lot of stuff that's up at redlinederby.com, so go check it out because it's kind of fascinating. It's an interesting way to draw more people possibly into racing and paying attention to your car. So, you know, if Track Surgeon wins or loses, whatever, it's going to be him, Alex, that made the car, but it's also going to be, I don't know, Joe Bafootslick or whoever is, you know, driving, quote unquote, this car in the race. So, good luck to him. Be quite the upset to see a new rookie blow through some veteran competition, would it not? We shall see. Next in the list is 2-7, Matt coming out of Ohio. My neighbor, basically. 3 cheers for Ohio, so I guess I gotta cheer for the hometown boy, maybe, since I don't have a horse in this race. He's the closest thing I got. I got a message from Matt just tonight talking about this. This is as he put it, a Craigslist rescue. It's the super pattern, a printed pattern, basically like in water, right? And then he dips the thing in it and pulls it out and just sticks to it. So there's some magic going on there. And he's posted a lot of pictures at redlinederby.com about other cars that he's painted this way. It's very cool, very interesting. So go check that out. Matt has several wins under his belt in terms of Redline Derby tournaments. So he's a man who does his homework, and a man who has a nice setup, a nice track setup at his own house, which you can also see pictures online. So he's got all the tools to test this thing. So I have to believe that it's ready to roll. It's a good use of frankly, what I consider a very ugly casting in that Super Comp Dragster. This is a good way to to make it look a little more appropriate in my book. Very cool. Looks fast, if nothing else, right? Weight's in the right spot as far as I'm concerned. So says science. Very neat. Next in line comes from Nebraska, the Midwest, the true Midwest, from Air Cooled. Another classic choice to build on here, the Way Too Fast model. A chassis that I believe, if I've learned nothing else from reading everything at redlinederby.com, this is a chassis that is seemingly prized and you can't have enough of. It's long, it's metal, there's not a lot of extra crap floating around it, so you don't need to grind a whole lot off. The pipes are metal, so it's a very good chassis to kind of throw anything on you want. A lot of entries in the past have been built on this chassis, and they do incredibly well. So Aircool's made the right decision. Put some FTEs on here, probably loaded it up. This one does tip out at 65, so he's right on the button. Even put his name on the back. So, like, when you're behind him, you'll know who you're behind. Good choice. Classic. It's kind of a classic. Good old classic hot rod right there. There's got to be a real one of these floating around somewhere, right? Nearing the end of the list here. But next, another one from Connecticut. Our friend Clifford Shaw sends in the Sand Drifter, which, you know, okay. Let's not rag too much here because it just looks like it's been beat to hell, okay? Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, but as we all know, good looks don't make it go fast, right? It's all about them wheels. It's all about that weight. This is a tiny little sucker, too. It's really short. Comes in a little light at 57 Gs, but I don't doubt this thing can roll. I'm a fan of the compact cars myself, like the tiny little guys. I don't know. I just think they look cooler sliding down the track. Feels like they should be faster, even though they're sometimes not. Scott said this one was built, it was built for another race, and it sucked. So he kind of took it, reworked it a little bit, sent it in for another race, but the suffered at the hands of the U.S. mail and didn't make that second race. So this is the third time this car has been entered in a race. Second time it has raced. So third time, maybe a charm for this little guy. We'll have to see. Yes, as Nathan commented in the chat, it's not beat up. It's just vintage. Indeed. I think my personal favorite part about this is the gold. Again, my apologies for all the technical difficulties kind of dropping in and out here. It took a small act of luck to get all of this set up and running in the first place, so I'll take what I get. It'll get better. So this is Scott from Connecticut. His tiny little entry, Sand Drifter. Another Chevy. This one coming from K&O Racing, way out in, I believe, Oregon. Which I didn't make a name card for. I apologize. Let's just fix that. There, live TV, ladies and gentlemen. Nonetheless, 57 Chevin comes in a little bit light at 58 grams, but he's got the FTEs where it matters. Nice metal base on this thing, too. It's ready to roll. And it's interesting, I think, because K&O, I don't know him as a mod builder. He's usually dominating the stock circuit, the no mod circuit. He won several here in the past, and seems to be his expertise. So it's awesome to see one of his entries come in on the mod circuit. I like that little bumper thing. I don't know what that is on the front, little piece of tubing or whatever. Probably a smidge extra weight going on there, but overall, that's just cool. I'm going to steal that idea on my next mod. Good detail with the little stickers there too. Very classic kind of look. And we all know flames make cars go faster, so this one's ready to go. Sorry, the silence there. Trying to debug some things. I'm getting word from the field that we're pretty good, so I'm just going to keep on going. Again, just to remind everybody, if it's dropping out too much or if you have to go, the replay of this will be posted on the site real soon. YouTube's really fast about getting this stuff saved, so it'll be up on our YouTube channel, and I'll make a follow-up post at redlinederby.com. So, but here we go. Last car, last but certainly not least. Another one that's kind of coming out of retirement, JDC 442, Jim Carlson out of Washington. Easily has the most seniority out of this field of entries. He joined Redline Derby way back in 2010 and made his presence felt. Boom! He won a lot, he makes a lot, he knows what he's doing. And I'm honestly kind of surprised that this is the only Cadillac 16 that we've out of this field. The Caddy is a well-known speedster. Again, another one that's kind of speedy on its own. Let alone if you have the know-how to slap on some wheels, put in some weight, and kind of grease it up. So there's a little story behind this one, though, too, because as Jim told me, this Caddy is on its third life. It raced here at Redline Derby in 2012, and then last year during the World Race Series, which was a very interesting series of races that were on different tracks, from just downhill tracks to long tracks to open tracks. The ones with no lanes, where you just cars just kind of go down a very wide track and hope for the best. Well, Jim hoped for the best, but he didn't get the best because that open track kind of beat the hell out of this car, apparently. So he had to take it back to the shop, rebuild a little bit, put some new wheels on it, adjust some things, add a few stickers, which never hurt, and send it back in for this race, for the Pro Series. So we will see how well it does. Jim's another one that came early and then went on hiatus for a little bit to take care of some stuff. enjoy life. And I think the Pro Series was enough to kind of make him go, hey, I'm a pro. I got some cars that can race. Let me see what I can do. And I think there's a little friendly rivalry between Jim and our friend Econo Carl. So even if Jim doesn't win the gold, that is, if he could possibly ink out against Carl, I think he'd be happy with that, assuming Carl doesn't win the whole thing. So quite the field here for this Pro Series between the legendary quote-unquote unobtainium that is Carl's gold brick all the way through to Jim's Caddy V16. Quite the field. Let me see if I can get all these in one shot here. I don't know if it'll work. There's some. They'll come by. Whee! Some of these are such good rollers, they won't stay put even on the wheel of doom here. There we go. Wheel of Fortune. The fam. There are your entries for the inaugural Pro Series and the first leg of said Pro Series. If I have my way, the Pro Series will be something we do every year like clockwork. Themes might change up, but the glory, fortune and glory will be the same. It's a good looking crop right there. Got some Chevys, some classics, some moderns, some wonderful, wonderful creative concoctions in terms of Matt's little dragster there and CC Rider's, I don't know, I'm just going to call it a Pinewood Derby car because it's a beast. Voxer's engineering marvel should be one to see. So place your bets, make your picks. If you didn't have to cheer, if you didn't have to cheer for your own, which everybody should, whose would you cheer for? There's the question. Where would you put your money if you were a spectator? What are the Vegas odds? I don't know. I should probably be fair. I don't know. Unbiased, as it were. I am the host. I have no horse in this race. I just like to watch these things go. I don't think I had ever seen Carl's gold unobtainium before, so it's mythical status. I just have to believe. So if he's the one to beat, there's a lot of cars here that could give it a run for its money for sure. Like I said before, I'm anxious to see CC's wedge car go, and very interested to see how Voxer's turbulence will perform. I know there's a lot of attention to detail in that one, so I'll be interested to see if that pays off. And if it does, try to copy his techniques. I don't think I have the skill, but never hurts to try. Not bad, not bad at all. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Pro Series preview show. We'll see these guys race again Saturday, and it will be another live show. I'll be doing live commentary of the racing, and we'll see these things go at it head to head. Now, the Pro Series, each tournament is will be a standard double elimination tournament, so there'll be a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. But just like a normal bracket, whoever makes it to the end pretty much wins. The points that are gained during these tournaments just go towards the Pro Series total, the grand total at the end of the year. So even if you don't win the overall build your best tournament, you will certainly get some points for every car that you beat. So you might not do well here per se, but you might do well in the next one in April or in June, and then those points could shift. So this could be a very tight race, or a tight series, as it were. Nice looking stuff. So, there we go. Like I said, this Saturday, 10 o'clock, I'll be doing live commentary for the Pro Series race itself. That'll be here streaming, assuming everything works. Should be good. And then coming up in March is the Hot Wheels Derby Dash, which is a no-mod tournament. So it's a stock car tournament. So that's the easiest tournament you can enter. If you're new to Hot Wheels racing, you're getting back into it, or you're not quite sure, you're kind of timid to jump into the mod space as far as customizing because you've just never done it before. Stock car is a great place to get your feet wet in terms of mailing cars in and trying to win and everything else. Go find cars that are fast on the pegs, ones that look fast, test them at home, and then send them in. The rules for the Derby Dash are pretty open. There's a weight limit. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But your cars do not have to come in the blister, in the pack. You can take them out and you can put graphite on them. You can do whatever you need to, but you can't modify them. You can't take them apart and you can't put stuff on them or add anything to it. They got to come as is. So you can play with it a smidge, maybe just in terms of lubing up the wheels. But and if you're looking for some hints as to what models can kind of go fast, frankly, you can just hit up all over redlinederby.com. But if you head over to the Fantasy League section, you can get to the old archive where there is a lot of data about stock cars, which ones do well against each other, which ones have just done well historically, which ones do well on what kind of track. It's all kind of there. It's a good place to start if you're kind of new. So that's coming up in March. Deadline's March 19th, and then we'll do some racing after that. Maybe do some preview shows and some live commentary for that as well. We'll have to see what comes up. But those are two things coming up, but that's not it. All right, there's always more. RedlineDerby.com has an event calendar where it lists out a whole bunch of other tournaments going on, series going on. I know there's a fire truck one coming up, I think, in May. Or is it that far out? I don't know. There's one coming up, I think, in March. Another retro one. So I don't have enough space or anything to talk about them here. So go check out the website and see what you're entering. Just cruising over the chat here. John asks about the track record, and I'm assuming if he's asking what the track record is on my track, I do not know. I do not have a timer finish line on the Redline Derby home track. It is just a sensor track, so it just lights up lane 1 or lane 2. So I don't know what the track record is. One day I might get a timer. I don't know. There's a little part of me that says the timer kind of takes the magic out of everything, because once you know that a car hits a 2.1 second finish and your car has been tested at 2.4, you just kind of, you're still going to enter, but it just kind of takes that anticipation out of it, the possibility a little bit. The magic's kind of gone. There's a little too much science in that, so sorry, John. Don't have a time, but I'm sure it's pretty fast. Now, the other guys that run in tracks, like I was seeing Matt, they have some timers on their tracks. So there's other tracks might have some records to break, and we'll see. I don't have in front of me which tracks are on the Pro Series circuit, but you can go check that out at the website. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. This was live, and I apologize for any of the problems, any of the buffering, any of the slowness. This was a lot of fun to look at these cars. I think I'm going to do this as much as I can for whatever tournaments I'm hosting in the future, so hopefully that'll be cool. Thanks for showing up. Check out redlinederby.com for everything else. On the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, just look for Redline Derby. Thanks again. Happy racing and good luck to all our entries. We'll see you back here at Saturday. Have a good night.